My name is Jay. I have been at the Point for a little over 12 years now. I was hanging out with Pastor Matt, the founding pastor of the church, and we were probably somewhere in around our second year. We were talking through it and realized we have to be completely financially stable and supportive of ourselves within about another year and a half. At the time, we had a very small group meeting every Sunday, and just the thought of how in the world could we ever get to the point that we can sustain this ourselves? And believe it or not, we were self-sufficient before that time ran out. We didn't even have to go the full 3 years. Fast forward a few years later, I remember that we had gotten to a point to where the small theater we were in, we just couldn't fit in anymore, and we're trying to figure out what in the world to do. That theater at the time had another one that was really big. It was more money, and it was honestly too big. But once again, God made it happen, and it became so much fun because we had all those events kicking off that we still have been doing, like Brewfest, the Wingfest. We had a couple others going on at the time. And all of a sudden, once again, we see growth in a timing that we could never have expected coming, and filled that theater. Next thing you know, we hit another season of change. This time not about location or stability, but our leaders being called elsewhere. Honestly, in my opinion, I think that was probably one of the most stressful seasons, even though it wasn't related to something like financials or location changes. It was these core pillars of this community that we've built for these last several years are not going to be here. And it was scary. It was still the community coming together, the people that were there and trust God with what we're doing and love each other and believe in our church community, that we come out of that closer than we had ever been, in my opinion. I mean, it was great to see all of us come together. And we also got a Pastor Adam out of the deal. He gets there, and a few months later, the theater comes and says, hey, you know what? We need you guys to find a new location. We're going to be remodeling. And they basically gave us about 2 months. We get moved into the downtown west that some of you guys may remember, get a really good system going, and pandemic. There we are in a season that has looked completely different than anything we can imagine. But even though people were at home, the core group of our community, all of you that love and call this place home, come together and continue to support, continue to get on live stream. And God opens up the building that we're in now, which is more than we could have ever anticipated. When you think about all of those things, I love to joke and say that this is about the 4th or 5th most stressful event we've been through, because God has proven his faithfulness time and time again when we come together as a community, committed to remaining a community and just giving it all to him. So I'm really excited. I hope that everyone else is as well, because again, in each one of these seasons, this constant change, though it may not look like our timing, it may not look like what we expected it to, it always ends up better than we could imagine, because that's just how God tends to work.